Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I want to stop you guys right here before we get into the Greater Peoria Open coverage. First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming and checking out this video, but I've got 3 things I want to ask of you guys before we get into it. And here are the 3 things. I've got an apology, a call to action, and giveaway announcement. So once again, guys, here being a local curator for disc golf events in Peoria area, I've promised you guys the tour events. It was my hope to be able to improve a lot of my efficiency and output for the channel over the course of the off season. I ended up breaking a lot of stuff with a home renovation, with my computer shutting down for a while. It was just a really tough situation, and I'm sorry for that. I will be releasing the rest of the Greater Peoria Tour in the weeks to come, and I want you guys to be ready for that. Despite all that, I appreciate you guys still being here at the channel. The second thing I really need from you guys is your support. Guys, I got 3 things that you guys can help me do that don't cost you anything. First of all, please subscribe. Second of all, share this channel with a friend. We are a community of viewers here, and I love disc golf, and I want you guys who love disc golf to share this content with your friends. And third of all, go ahead and let me know if you're interested or know someone who's interested in running a camera or learning how to edit some disc golf videos. I want to be able to promote disc golf in the area and empower people to curate disc golf media themselves and for the channel here in the upcoming months. So if you guys could do any of those 3 things, that's incredibly helpful. And last of all, I want to reiterate that I have a ton of giveaways for the channel. I'm overdue on a few things from last year, but this year I really want to hone in on what I announced before as my 1,000 subscriber giveaway is this Dynamic Discs Commander Bag. I've been looking to give this to a lucky viewer here for some time. So if you guys follow the previous step, get subscribed, share it with a friend, get them subscribed, I should be hitting that 1,000 here pretty soon, and I really want to give this bag to a lucky viewer. I sincerely hope that you guys enjoy the Greater Peoria Open coverage. You guys can also check out the MPO division at Crew 42. And with that, I'll leave you guys to it. I'll see you guys on a fairway soon. All right, everyone, we are back. This is Peyton Drake. Once again, PLD Disc Golf. We've got the Greater Peoria Open coverage from this year's event. We've got the MA1 feature card here. We are going to be playing 3 rounds at Northwood Black. So this is the 5th stop of the Greater Peoria Tour. We've got 3 more events yet this year to wrap up with a championship event that will it'll be a great turnout. Lots of players coming to play these tour events, and this tour is shaping up to be awesome. So, like I said, MA1 division. It's just me here in the booth for this round, but I hope to have someone special for you guys for round 2 and 3, so please stick around for those rounds, which will be coming out very soon. And yeah, we're going to be kind of taking things slow here this round. Just want to talk to you guys about some of the happenings here on the channel and just let you guys enjoy some of the coverage here. But I'll introduce the holes for you here. So we've got hole 1, shared hole between the shorts and longs layout. This is a 453-foot par 3. Just a really demanding shot, plays like 380 feet as it's significantly downhill, and a lot of players are just looking to get anywhere to a short pitch up for an easy par, but you can easily let some strokes stack up here on this hole. We have an awesome card, a few people premiering here today. We have, I call him a local legend, Brad Huey, definitely a pretty crafty forehand player, throwing the forehand pretty low off the tee. And it'll just be out there and play. That's all that you really need here. Pretty tough to score the birdie. So anything in play for a par will be great. And Liam Brown, we also will be seeing him in the the Megiddo coverage, which will be coming out here fairly shortly too. So he leaks that one a little bit left. He's got some pretty good game, has definitely the form of a ultimate Frisbee player. So we'll see a lot of that from him. And Andrew Wallen, our current president of the Peoria Frisbee Club. He knows how to throw a disc, and that is a very nice origin shot right there. Nice turnover. That's what a lot of players just end up trying to do. And the 2-time GPO MA1 champion, Caleb Tripp. He is coming back to try to take the title once again. This year, he's sponsored by Gateway, and he is not quite as practiced as he has been in years past, and he's still hoping to be able to take down the win here. But he just explained that everybody's got other stuff going on. That's why we're here in the amateur space and not professionals on tour. So, Liam's in a really tough spot. This place right here, short and left of the tee, is just, it's so tough. Yeah, you see him kind of shaking his head. This is what happens to the hole if you don't get off the tee clean. So just pitching out there to the open. He'll have about a 250-foot shot to the basket from here. Plays like its own hole. So he's got a little bit left here on this hole. Framing it up. A little bit of an early release there. And oh my gosh, kicked out of bounds. You definitely don't want to be in the position where you've already thrown 3 shots and then hit OB again. He's got a lot more disc golf to play, but it's going to be a rough start. And Brad chipping his berg up nicely. This is a range here from Andrew. Both of those being these new style discs with the puddle top that kind of sucks the air out from underneath the disc, drops the glide. Liam pitching up there. So, yeah, those discs are very interesting, and they seem to be flying pretty well for Brad and Andrew. Just pitch up here from the guys. Let's see if we can get a few pars. It's a high putt to start the round. Next to clean up here is Liam. Yeah, tough start there to get a quad bogey on the first hole, but it happens once in a blue moon, even to players at this skill level too. So, got 3 pars, and we're moving along. Innova has been essentially the primary provider for the players packs this year. So all of the events, every tour stops players pack is filled with Innova merchandise. So I am also running a giveaway for the entire GPO coverage. So if you guys want to look at the description below, see how you guys can get entered into that. I have Halo It, a UV light from Innova. I also have a discount code to Gravity Disc Golf and a grip bag mini. So go check that out, get entered. This is hole 2, a 580-foot par 4. A lot of players just trying to throw something straight, not moving right or left through the gap, and then try to find their way to the right with their second shot. All right, Brad here favoring the forehand. This does have the chance to kind of fade towards the gap, which means you can get some distance. But if you're further to the left, it helps open up that second leg of the fairway. A little inside there from Andrew, so long as it has a chance to fade off. Looks like it was pretty straight, so he's going to be on the inside corner. Do also have to mention, too, you see both Andrew and Caleb kind of playing with the tee pad a little bit. It did rain yesterday, so these players are having to battle a little bit of moisture on the ground in all places. Oh, a little bit of a slip there from Caleb. And also on the tee pads, that definitely increases the difficulty out here, especially on the longs. If you can't trust your footing, you're going to have a rough time having the confidence to plant a power shot through the gap. Yeah, a little bit of a slip right there, but good pull on line. Yeah, a little bit of a tree tap there at the very end will put him in a good spot. So here, yeah, Caleb will be pitching up to the corner, about 100 or so feet. He can get up just a little bit, but you got to be careful not to go too long or cut it off early. And I will mention, I am running camera for this round, so Brad's methodology for prepping for his shot, he does manage to fake me out a handful of times too, so just be patient with me while I try to follow the shots. All right, Liam in a pretty good spot here. Gonna turn that one over. That fits the fairway pretty well. He's gonna be on the right side of the green. You see just the barrel, or the top of the basket left of frame there. Yeah, Andrew's too cut off. Pushed it a little straight, but he should have another kind of step out forehand play from there. Yeah, this is tough. When you're up against a tree here on this course after the tee shot, usually you have a long distance to go before you're close to the basket. So yeah, just taking medicine, hitting the gap, and putting it in play for the par. Andrew here, straddle forehand, little flex, I think with a zone. Goes a little deep and right, but that'll be an okay comebacker. The difficulty here is if you leave a shot short of the basket, odds are you'll have what could be it's not really a scary putt. The angle of the green is away from you when you're standing on this side of the basket, so it does let the putt go a little bit long. And Brad, if you see that yellow disc on forehand next to the basket, it's his berg. So he throws that quite well. Liam here with a challenging scramble putt. Really great anti-line there. Just a little bit low. Yeah, this is about 30 feet here for Andrew. Actually, maybe even a little bit longer. Great putt. Well done to save the par. Yeah, let's run that one back a little bit. He's just testing out the ground. Brings the disc low to a high release, lets the disc kind of fall into the basket. It's like throwing into a trash can. It's pretty accurate, pretty reliable, especially when the wind is down. Haven't seen Andrew play much in the wind, but that putt's going to work very well for him out here. Ooh, just creeping over there for Caleb. Not too much damage here. You guys will see a lot of red graphics here on this longs layout. And players here are probably going to hope to at least be in single digits over par will be a great score. Can't celebrate or promote Power Grip enough. Zach Parcell and the Power Grip USA guys in Bloomington do an excellent job. They actually helped secure players packs for this year too, so Power Grip being a great partner of the Greater Peoria Tour. Go check them out when you're in the Bloomington area. And we have hole 3 here. Definitely the challenge is in the tee shot, trying to get the distance if you want to get the bird. It requires an elite forehand for sure. To get anywhere close to here, where you'll have a somewhat straight but technical shot to get to the basket that you can see right there. You just want to barely fade right in front of this tree here on the right-hand side of the green to have a good look for the bird. So definitely two demanding shots. So this hole is playing a little over par on the day. Players are happy with the par, and that was a good shape, but if you're having to work the angles, you gotta avoid those initial trees on the right and also those late trees there on the left. He'll have some pretty easy work if he wants to get his par though. That's the kind of angle you're wanting. If it has the distance, it'll be in a good spot. Most of the time though, these players end up leaving it just a little bit short of the bend, so they have to be a little bit more crafty on their second shot to try to get up for bird. Let's say Liam's forehand here. Nice and spinny, kind of a wide rail. Keeps the disc pretty close to him, and then when he goes to the release point, separates it from his body a little bit too. So could have contributed just a little bit to that inside release. But he'll have a pitch out and an opportunity for a par. It'll be tough, but possible. Oh, and a little low and inside here. If it misses that tree, sometimes I've seen some discs actually make their way down the fairway quite significantly. Liam's still pretty early here, so it's going to be a tough par, but possible. Trying to make sure his... Oh, a little high, caught the cabbage, dropped it. He'll at least have a look for his third shot. Caleb a little early, able to kind of step out, pitch down, not too deep. That'll be a good spot. Yep, trying to follow that tree line as it bends over to the right. Ooh, a flip up here, getting aggressive. I think maybe even a little too aggressive for the nature of that shot. He gets an unfavorable tree kick too, so nice little forehand flip up there. A little low, but it plays. He'll be able to see the band of the basket, I think, from there, given his height and the angle the fairway plays to the basket. And a beautiful turnover shot here from Andrew. He's actually in prime spot off the tee. He landed just at that base of that big tree, so he'll have a putt for the bird. Oh, man. These trees making Brad work for this. He's going to have a challenging shot to get up and down for his bogey. We're back here. He wants to push this straight at that tree in the backside of the fairway. Nice hyzer. Just barely miss it. Oh, an otherwise great shot. You can aim at that tree and just let the disc either push past it or fade right in front of it. Ooh, and a little crafty skip shot. That actually puts him right next to the basket. Good work there from Brad. And a jump putt approach. Just barely see the top of the basket right there. All right, this is for Caleb's par. A well-earned one if you can get it. Oh, man. The key out here is having confidence on the green. You've worked so hard to get to it. You want to make sure that you close out any and all putts that you have, and that's a great, great bird there from Andrew. Wonderful. Definitely build some confidence. Being under par here after 3 at our skill level at MA1, definitely confidence moving into the round. And once again, an occasional bogey out here never really hurt anyone, especially on the longs. So just a couple single bogeys for Caleb and Liam. Brad will take his medicine. With a single bogey, could have been much worse. So he'll appreciate that moving forward. OTB, I got to shout out my own sponsor as well. Not only did they support me, but the tour as well. They are absolutely awesome. If you guys haven't shopped them online, I highly recommend it. Definitely one of my preferred and probably one of the best online retailers of disc golf merchandise ever. So go check them out at otbdiscs.com. And we got hole 4. And once again, I think a lot of players will elect for the forehand to land right about here if they want the opportunity to push up for the birdie. This is also a very tough hole. This is playing over a stroke, over par. So a par here is also taking strokes on a lot of players. The difficulty here is if the disc ricochets to the left, you're going to be in a very bad spot. So miss is, yeah, to get it high and right, you'll have to kind of just pitch out, but your opportunity to pitch out to a better spot is much better from there than it is being left. So, Brad, let's show us your forehand prowess. Ooh, no. That is exactly what you don't want. Brad is going to be in the creek bed, which is like 15 feet below the fairway altitude. It's going to be tough. If you have it, the flip-up backhand can also play pretty well with a mid-range or slow fairway driver. I've seen a lot of players get aggressive with distance drivers to really kind of push to the landing zone you aim for off the short tee, but what you end up doing is you challenge those trees and get the left-hand kick just like that. It's very hard to recover from. But hopefully Liam's not too far in the rough. Caleb also throwing a flip-up. I think we saw this on hole 1 as well. Throws it so well through the meat of the gap, and he's definitely in the prime landing zone, having to throw probably another similar shot to get up to the green. And Brad is down in no man's land. It would be a miracle just to get out of here and into the fairway. Yeah, as you can see, Brad's right there on the other side of the base of that tree. He has about 15 feet below ground level. I do have to admit, this course plays sometimes causes delays for being able to traverse these rough areas. So Brad actually had to walk around to hole 3's green and back down this creek to get to his disc, and even when he's there, it's a tough time considering. So what is like you typically have about like anywhere between 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a little bit of grace there for players in a tough lie. This shot took about 3 minutes to plan, so he actually gets out into the fairway, which is really good. So he'll have the opportunity to minimize the amount of strokes. And he pitches it out and up on the high right side. He'll have footing, be able to get up and down. It'll be a tough shot, but possible. Yeah, Andrew being at the base of these honeysuckle bushes, these are impossible to get any relief from. So if you're in his position, a lot of times you have to go super low or try to stick your hand straight up through the upper branches, and you just forehand chipper out, taking his medicine. In a great position here for Liam. Not a terrible kick, but it does kind of open up the shot shape for him on the next shot. Andrew throwing, a turnover. He wanted to put that on more hyzer to get it to kind of flip up and ride on hyzer through that gap. Managed to turn it up straight. He's going to be in another bush about, 80 feet from the basket. And Brad throwing the forehand through the gap. Very common play, common result as well. He's going to be circle 2-ish. And Liam with a great look at the basket. Clips one of the last two Guardians there. He'll have a putt, but it's an interesting one for sure. Caleb putting an overstable approach high. A little branch kind of helps slow it down and get it moving back to the right. And he actually has a pretty good look at the bird. Just a big rainbow shot there. Playing off the tree. Calculated. Well done, Andrew. A little off there. And that's tough on those uphill putts, especially when the basket's on flat ground. Wow. Brad, although it's for a bogey, let's run that putt back. That was incredible. Just good spin, trusting the width on that hyzer. Lets the disc come back to the center line. Good pace, too. Not going too far past the basket if he misses, so. Great putting stroke. Bogey cleanup there for Liam. And an excellent birdie from Caleb. And Andrew totally disrespecting that stick right there. 1 birdie and 3 bogeys. Which moves me to celebrating Underdog Sports. Guys, if you've never been to Underdog in Peoria or Bloomington, in Springfield, you gotta get there. Paul Layton is an incredible partner for all sports in Central Illinois, and he has been doing wonders for Peoria Frisbee Club and the disc golf community here in Peoria. So thanks to him and his store, go check him out. Lots of great plastic. Hole 5, what all players are looking to birdie here. You're trying to throw about 250-foot shots, both. The second shot's a little bit shorter, but plays uphill, and you'll have to throw some sort of forehand to fit the gap or turnover backhand for the righty players. So just keep this straight. 250 feet on the dime and throw a turnover shot for your second shot. Caleb throws pretty well off the tee. That big tree gets in the way, but he'll be able to either straddle out to the right with the forehand. Probably will do the forehand to fit that. Got Liam's mom and brother spectating. Andrew throwing a pretty nice shot. Being on the right side from the tee, on the right side of the fairway, kind of helps open up the second shot, and it gives you a few options even to look high and kind of scramble through. So he is a little short of the best landing zone, but it'll give him a chance. And oh, what a slip there from Brad. Keep going. He catches himself. He bounces back. He'll actually be in a pretty good spot for a second. Liam looking to get into a good spot too. Thinking about Brad's slip. Trying to say, hey, don't slip. And pulls it a little right. Oh, with a great bounce there. Everyone's got a chance. Some a little bit better chance than others, but there's always an opportunity. So a little hammer anti-flex from Andrew puts him right next to the basket. What a shot. Brad here's looking to go low, probably throw it right at me and let the disc kind of fade off of me to the green. I'm standing on the outside of the bend, so these discs should be passing by on my left. And he puts that one and does just that. A little short, but a little straddle putt, never hurt anyone. Liam in a very similar spot. Ooh, I think he missed his gap just a little bit, but it kind of stayed straight. He'll have a long look, jump putt, put it high enough, give it a chance to go in. Little spinny action there from Caleb. Very good. Puts that big tree right in between him and the basket, but he'll have an opportunity to make that putt. Come on, camera. Thinking about coming in focus. Liam, jump, get it. Not quite. Oh. Brad working hard to try to get the bird. Isn't quite able to close out. We've got 2 of the 4 players here getting the bird on what is, I think, the easiest hole here on the front 9. Andrew and Caleb staying pretty close to even. They're off to a pretty great start. Big shout out to Treasures of the Forest, a interesting group of guys who likes to harvest treasures from the forest and make really cool minis out of them. So if you guys haven't checked them out yet, go see them. They also gave some prizes to the tour as well, so huge thanks to them for helping us out. Hole 6. This is a 947-foot par 6. Not quite as hard as some of the other infamous holes here on this course, but definitely challenges players. You're trying to get about 500, say 500 and, I'll call it 600 feet. 600 feet to get to this position here where the drone is turning hard to the left so that you can have an opportunity to actually throw a shot to the basket. So you got to cover 600 feet in 2 shots and then throw a pretty technical shot for your third to be able to have a chance at the birdie. So this is a pretty demanding hole, throwing 3 perfect shots back to back. And that's a pretty good shot there from Caleb. Obviously a little left, but that last tree kind of kept him from going into the rough. So he'll have something, be able to get more distance. I think most of the guys here are just looking for that par. Take 3 shots to get just around the bend, a 4th shot to approach, and then tap in for the par. And this disc not quite turning over enough. It looks a mid-range. It looks like a mid-range, a little bit slower, so not having the speed to push into the rough deep. It's a good shot there from Andrew. I believe that was his origin again, similar to what we saw on hole 1. And this is the first backhand we're seeing from Brad off the tee. He does leave that a little early. I do say that it rained yesterday, but it is like 94 degrees now, and there's no wind, and there is 65% humidity or something like that. The weather is atrocious, and that kick was also atrocious. Oh my gosh. Both Brad and Liam kind of show why this hole has teeth. If you can't get big distance off the tee, you're working hard. And that's a good little turnover shot. Not much of a cut roll there, staying in the wide open. It's a good result. But, yeah, Liam dealing with some frustrations, and heck, that tree just disrespecting his pitch out will further increase that frustration. But throwing a nice shot here. That needs to stay in the open. And I think it does. A little bit of cabbage there. Drops it down. And a cut roller opportunity from Brad. He nearly gets it. It does make its way a little inside from the beginning, but it would have had that chance to kind of cut around to the right. And dang, Andrew throwing a flip-up backhand to try to push straighter down the bend. That's the ultimate goal here, is a lot of people end up cutting this bend too soon, and they really need the disc to push much straighter before it starts making its way left. And Caleb getting a little lucky there on the right-hand side too, just kind of sneaking through. Yeah, I will say, going back to Brad's shot, that forehand roller is actually a very common method for getting around this bend. A lot of players come to it when they're going around, and a jump putt puts Liam a little deep of the curve, which opens up his next shot. So not a bad play there. Playing it a little bit deep gives you a little bit more flatter footing. but also makes your next shot a little bit more uphill. So take your pick. Whole forehand turnover action here got really high, and that was actually a great kick. I don't think we would have found that disc if it was allowed to fly. Caleb trying to keep this disc moving to the left. Yeah, if he got the pop on it that he wanted, I think it would have held that line quite well and been in circle with a little bit more juice. See Liam, a little standstill action here. Yeah, I'm interested in Liam's form for sure. If you guys have the opportunity, just pay attention when he throws too. He keeps the disc really low through the power pocket, very much that ultimate style. He's able to generate a pretty good amount of power to it too, but you'll see a lot of his shots are nose up, given that he has a low pull through and the disc needs to travel up in the air. So I think that's going to be a very common occurrence for his shots. All right, and here's an approach here. Oh, I think that was his birdie run. And this is the story of Northwood Park. Oh, great bid. But you've worked so hard to get down the fairways, and then your approach gets away from you, and you have to do some kind of low ceiling, straddle out, knee style putt to try to get away from the hole. And that's a good comebacker there. An unfortunate triple, but yeah, I think competitors are looking to stay in the single digits for the whole round, and Liam's getting awfully close to double digits. So if he shoots a really great back nine, I could see him being in contention, but he's got to fight back from some mistakes made earlier this round. Let's see, good par there from Andrew, and I think another par tap in for Caleb. Caleb thinking Andrew's about to backslap his putt out of the basket. All right, huge shout out to Jim Fowler and Die to Self. Jim does an excellent job. He dyes discs for players, so if you guys have an opportunity to check out his wares on Facebook. He also had done CTPs for disc dyes for the tour, so if you guys have an opportunity to play one of the tour events coming up, you'll have opportunities to earn a free disc dye from him, so check him out for sure. We move to hole 7, what is very technical par 3, reachable by all of these players. You're trying to throw either a hyzer flip up that either turns over to the right hand gap or continues to push to the left just barely to another big gap, and you'll end up with the edge of circle kind of putt. And we just saw Caleb pull his shot a little too far to the right. There are some players that elect for the forehand, but the difficulty with the forehand is you have this big tree here that Andrew threw just past, and clips a tree there down the fairway. That big tree that the camera was just focused on forces players to just barely miss it with the forehand flex or the turnover. So it's definitely a challenge to keep your disc on line with that tree so imminent off the tee. Another backhand here from Brad, and I'm seeing a common theme of a slightly early release, so not sure if it's just a distrust in the tee pad. Could be a little bit of a rounding issue caused by not wanting to commit to a full reach back, which is very possible. I do that quite often myself. And a little bit of an early release there too from Liam. Nobody in too bad of a position off the tee. I think everyone's got an opportunity to get up and down for par. I think that'll be a pretty short putt for his. And a really high looking line here from Andrew. Just pulling something over on Anheuser that's pretty straight. Oh, he clips and goes to circle's edge left. Yeah, I didn't have the opportunity to kind of go over to his angle, but that gap was pretty tight from Caleb, and he manages to commit to it, spin the disc, and it got close. And Liam, man, if that tree was a basket, he would have made that putt. Camera doing some funky stuff too. The humidity is kind of playing around with the focusing capabilities there, and Andrew lets a bogey on a somewhat easy parable hole get to him. So good par cleanup there from Brad. See what Liam can clean up his too. Yep. All right, guys, and we're moving into the last couple holes here on this course. Once again, I can't thank you guys enough for coming and checking out this coverage. If I can reiterate, if you guys are not subscribed, that's one of the best ways that you guys can support me and this channel. And if you guys have the opportunity to just share this coverage with a friend, let them know, hey, disc golf is actually real cool. It's in the area. It's happening year round. Your guys' help, cannot appreciate it more. Shout out to Rena Center and Pekin for also giving back to the tour and the Greater Peoria Open. If you guys have storage needs, be sure to check out a Rena Center near you. We have hole 8, what I consider probably one of the most scariest tee shots. We do have a lot of people that lose discs here in this front ditch that you're teeing over. It's all OB with a drop zone, an optional drop zone, about 220 feet from the basket, just across this ravine too. So you'll see a lot of players end up at that drop zone. And we have a great sort of flip up here with an unfortunate kick. Oh, that's one of those where the disc did cross inbounds. So it went over the drop zone, went to that little retaining wall and kicked off. He will be able to take his next lie at the OB line right of the green. So it's shorter than the drop zone, and he'll take it. And pretty safe shot there from Brad, just getting through the gap, getting in the open, try to pitch up there for his par. Liam likes to throw these flat shots pretty hard. Gets a little bit of flip up. And that'll be circle 2, a runnable look for the bird, but a very likely par. Andrew, I think this is a Firebird here, wants to put this on a baby Anheuser. I guess it's got a little bit of flip to it. Does that come back? It looks like it does not. Yep, it's coming down the drop zone, throwing the range, putting it high. You got to be careful about some of these runs too. There is a small gap on the left side of that back mozzarella stick fence that lets discs get through. So you could accidentally rack up an OB stroke if you're not careful. And that's a Berg. Perfectly played by Brad. Simple pitch up there. Really not wanting anything to do with the basket from Liam. And then this is the shot to save the par. This is what a lot of players, and especially in the professional fields, do. Just throw something hard right at the basket. Just trust the disc to do the work. And if you go out of bounds close to the basket, you have a pretty easy opportunity to save the par. But it looks like it's going to be a bogey for Andrew and Caleb. You see Liam here with par. And another par here from Brad. So 2 bogeys, 2 pars. Pretty common. Huge shout out to Game On. So this is a game company that is available for activities or events of any kind. You guys got a wedding, a party of some sort. They have a mobile venue of virtual gaming and augmented reality gaming. So go check them out online, see what their opportunities are, and try to get them on your calendar for a special event. So hole 9. Another really tough par 4. This tee shot to get you remotely close to a landing zone about here to get your opportunity for a second, also a tough second shot to get to the green. It leaves a lot to be desired off the tee. And so, I mean, it takes about 400 plus foot shot, but much more power to get that off the tee, given that it's an uphill shot. It's very technical, very challenging, and a little early once again from Brad. I think he's going to have to try to make that correction here in the back 9 if he wants to keep using that backhand. Got Liam here, wants to throw a little bit of a, trying to line up the Anheuser. And yeah, I'm just seeing it. Liam wants to throw a little bit of Anheuser, but because of his low rail, he has to follow through even lower than his release.
So he'll do that, and then he'll end up just like going like that, because he just goes on a straight line. So we worked on that a little bit.
So Liam, if you're watching, I like your shot. If you want to throw those Anheisers, you got to think about getting that disc passing through the power pocket a little bit higher so you have the chance to follow through down. And very early from Caleb, but that might just keep fighting and get through. We'll see what the result is. And probably a destroyer coming here from Andrew. Throw a little bit of a flat shot. Baby Heiser, actually. Ooh. Yeah, I left that to the left. Liam here behind the short pad, puts it around the corner to the open. He'll have a long shot for his par. Brad in the similar position, trying to get up to where Liam ended up. Didn't quite get as much distance, so he's going to have to work even harder on his next shot. Andrew on the left side of the fairway wanted to throw, I think, something like a roller to try to get up and around the corner, and it just hit some foliage and drops. And good result for the shot for Brad. This is definitely a challenging shot, tough footing. And he commits, stomps into the ground, keeps his foot planted while the rest of his body opens up, and he throws an excellent shot, I believe, to circle 1. That is a great shot. And Andrew trying to throw a Heiser flip up. Does a pretty good job of doing it, but I think he's going to have a little bit more than he wants for a par look there. And that was a good forehand roller from Liam. It just didn't quite stand up. One disc too stable. Or one tick too overstable of a disc. We got another Berg sighting here. Ooh! He let that one slip out of his hand. And a range. Oh, running the chains and nearly blocking the throw. And what are you doing, Andrew? Did you forget that you're on coverage? Oh. Comment below, guys. What's one of the most annoying things on the disc golf course? For me, it's those little tree rollaways at the very end of the fly. In fact, it doesn't even have to be the tree. It could be the pole of the basket. You hit the ground, and then it clips the tree or the pole and just stands up and rolls 30 feet away. That's what happens to Liam, and Brad leaves his putt a little short. And Liam leaves his short. It's a good stroke, just got to commit on getting the disc just a little bit more height. All right. Looks like we've got a few bogeys here. With the exception of Caleb. I think Caleb's yet to still putt out for his bird. Bespoke. All right, guys, that was the front 9 for GPO. This is the first tournament coverage I've given this year. I have like I said, all the other videos coming out week over week, so come back to the channel, check out more of the tour. We have our players just fighting to stay in single digits over par, especially out here at Longs. That's all that you can ask for. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be on the lookout for the announcement for who wins the Greater Peoria Open coverage giveaway. So check out the description once again to see how you can get entered. And subscribe, guys. Thank you once again for your support. I'll catch you on the flip side.